Hallo.
Hello.
Hello, hi, Matar.
Hi.
Hello.
And I think we have a new student in the class. Good to see you. Hi, Olena. Muhammad, is your surname Abula? Abulela.
Yes. Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Are you a new student in the class?
Yes, just joined last Thursday.
Okay, so maybe afterwards, you can have a, if everybody leave, if you want to stay on 5 minutes, then we can help you to set up. I'm not sure how you've had to catch up so that we can help you to open those forums up for you and just give you, if you want to have a one-on-one also with me in the week that I can help you to catch up, we can do that as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So I just want to quickly tell Mpilo that you're new so that he can just open up your week one so long while we're in the class, okay? So Mohammed, so that you just know what the other Mohammeds in the, is your name Mohammed?
My name is Muhammad, yes.
Okay, so what the other Mohammeds in the class has proposed to me is that because there are a few Mohammeds in the class, that I call each Mohammed on their surname. Would that be okay to you?
Actually, no one here called me Muhammad.
What do they call you?
Yeah, my surname.
Okay, Abulela. Okay. So, Mohammed, while we wait, Abulela, I must get used to it. While we wait for the others, I have asked Mpilo, he's my IT whiz. He's sitting also here with me in the office, that he's so long open up till in next Sunday for you all the week one, and then you and I can just quickly chat afterwards and make a time to have a one-on-one. Okay, to help you to catch up.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Ahmed? Hello, John. I've said hello to the others. I haven't said hello to you and to Tilazat. Welcome to today. And then I just want to check quickly. Ahmed, are you, how did the move go, or are you still moving? I can see Ahmed. Ahmed, I can't hear you, but I can see you're not muted.
Ahmed, I'll wait, yes.
Okay, so just Ahmed, so that if you can hear me, just give a thumbs up. We have opened it for the extra 2 days, and if you need a little more extra with the move, you can just send us a message. Then we can give a little extension on this week as well. Okay. So can we quickly put on the mics and do a quick check-in so that we just see faces. Also, we have a new student in the class, Muhammad Abulela, so that he can also see his new classmates, unless you guys already know him from a previous semester. Do you know Abulela? Okay. Abulela, can you put on your screen quickly? Okay. Hello, is that?
Yes, hello, Khayr.
Okay. So, Muhammad Abulela joined on Thursday, and Abulela, are you new to the entire MBA program, or did you had anything with any student, or is it your first semester? You unmute? You unmute? You unmute?
Sorry. Yes. It's my first semester here, but I have been working for almost 22 years in the same career, pharmaceutical.
Oh, okay. So can I quickly, we're not going to do a reintroduction of all the other students. They have done it in week 1 when we did the introduction. But maybe if you can just do a quick introduction on yourself so that, because we will start seeing from now on who are the students that are going is regularly in the class. And those are the students really that is going to get the most value out of it. So maybe if you can just give a quick introduction on yourself. Where are you? For who are you working? What are you doing? And why did you, obvious, I think everybody had to select this one as the elective, as I understand. And also, are you an entrepreneur or are you an intrapreneur in a business for a corporate? Just do a quick introduction on yourself.
Okay, my name is Mohammed Abu Leila. I have graduated from Faculty of Pharmacy, Cairo University, 1999. I have experience in the pharmaceutical industry, sales, marketing, business development, and commercial. I worked through multinational and national companies. My title now, or my business now, is Commercial Operations and Business Development Head, in addition to the marketing.
موجودين؟ ماشي.
You are muted, Professor.
Thank you. For which corporate are you working now? Which multinational?
I'm Egyptian, but I'm working in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabian company. It's called Riyadh Pharma. We have our own factory here, and we have our export in Gulf mainly and Sri Lanka.
Okay, beautiful. So we have a few students in the class also in pharmaceutical. Maybe those who are in pharmaceutical, maybe just want to put your hands up so that Abu Leila can see who of you are in pharmaceutical.
She can think.
Okay, Mohammed, is that?
Isn't
Let me just
Not
put
me.
my.
Sorry. I'm very sorry.
Okay, so is it only you that is in pharmaceutical? I thought there's one or two more in the class that's in pharmaceutical.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm working in logistics. I work for Amazon.
Okay.
So not like pharmaceutical related field.
Okay. So there are the two, Abu Leila and I always call you Izzat. Izzat, do I call you Hussein or Izzat?
Izzat is better. But I think we have Izzat, so no problem.
Okay. Okay, so then the two of you, so Abu Leila, now you know there's somebody else in the class that's also in pharmaceutical. If you want to connect after in class so that you can look for his name also in the student list.
Actually, me and Dr. Muhammad Izzat are working in the same company.
Same company.
Okay.
We are attending in upper office now. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you for getting him on board, eh? Okay. So what I'm going to share, just say again?
No, nothing.
Okay, so do you want to know a little about me?
I will be honored.
Okay, so I am actually 53 years old. And what I'm doing at this stage is in 2018, I got very ill, and I have started dedicating my life to say, God, whatever you put on my path, I'm going to serve you doing that. And this is one of the things I've said yes to in terms of lecturing for this group as well. So I'm focusing on 3 things at this stage. We have a nonprofit called the Difference Makers, where we develop women entrepreneurs to help in their communities. So I'll ask Mpilo also to, or I can put the links there as well. We're still busy finalizing the website. Then we have 2 they call it in South Africa, the type of company is a PTY limited. So it's not a public company, but it's a private company. So the one company is a training institute, and the other company is a consulting entity where we also incubate. So we help big corporates. In South Africa, we have legislation in terms of transformation, of targets, of who can buy from what companies. And I help them to fix their strategies, the corporates, and to design their entrepreneurial programs, and to then incubate and develop those entrepreneurs. And then I do two types of lecturing. I lecture here and I lecture with another institution as well. I love writing books. So I'm writing with my university chapters or another university chapters in books on leadership development and organizational leadership. I have 6 degrees. But I had to learn that degrees doesn't help you. When you get to a certain stage in your life, if you can't make a difference in life. So that's why I would love to work with you all. And if you need any, I'm very patient. If you need any support, Abulela, then you send me a WhatsApp and said, Dr. Christa, can you just help me to go through this? I love mentoring. And every day for me, I want to live as if it's my last day. If I need to go back to my creator tomorrow, I need to say that I've used all my talents and my gifts in serving other people. And I'm serving you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So while I'm sharing, can I open the forum to say, okay, where are you just generally? Because you're generally now going in week 2 with your I don't know how many subjects you have, whether you have 2 or 3 or 4, but where are you? Are you coping with everything and with your work? So I just want to do a quick check-in with whoever wants to share, to say, Christa, this is where I am at this stage. I'm finding my feet, or I have found my feet, and I'm cruising, or I'm still adapting. So while I share the Excel spreadsheet, if the first one, Yusuf, if you want to go first to say, where are you? And then the others can also share.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So typically, I was struggling in the first 2 weeks to get my schedule fixed with my employer. So I needed to change my schedule to different days of the week. But technically, first week is fine. I didn't have a chance yet to look at the chapter 2 and second week, to be honest. Okay. But first week was fine. I submitted my forum. I think there were 4 assignments, so all clear last weekend. Because I work 4 days a week and 3 days off, so okay. I managed to have my assignments done during my off days, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, shame. But you have respect for that. Thank you.
Yeah, and we work long hours, so I'm working nights. I start at 2 a.m. till almost 2 p.m. Yeah. So it's very hard to adapt to this morning schedule during the weekends and night schedule during the weekdays. So this is kind of very tough for me, but yeah. I will cope, and I promise everything will be done on time.
Okay. If you need at any stage that we just need for some, so forums, if you don't post a Wednesday on certain days, then you lose the richness of that. But if there are quizzes or other stuff, the end of module, and you really have a crisis, or like I'm having long COVID. So there are days that you just need, so, you know, today I just need to have a little time off. I don't mind. Mpilo's here in the office, and Mpilo, you can put your camera on as well, so that they can just see you. Then you can send me a WhatsApp so that we can say, okay, can you give me 2 days extra, so that it doesn't become a habit. But if it needs to happen, there's Mpilo. So that then I can just ask Mpilo to do. He's handling the Moodle, the IT for me. So then I can say, like we've done for Ahmed, now said Mpilo, change Ahmed's to 2 days later. Then send me a WhatsApp. Then just remember, we are on South African time. So if we don't respond immediately, don't think that I'm ignoring you. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate your cooperation. That's like very nice from you. Thank you so much.
For me, it is not. I went through the mill with my MBA and masters and honors and my PhD to say that if you haven't done this, then you fail. But you get to a stage where you realize, you know, learning is the professors who can do that, that's fine. But you need to have a life balance as well. And an MBA is really like having a second marriage or second spouse, because it can be absolutely consuming. And what one shouldn't have is no life. Okay. So that's the man who will then do the changes for me. Okay. Who wants to, is that your name? Your hand is up. Do you want to share? Anyone else who want to share? Mpilo, you can put your camera off. Sarah, welcome. I saw Sarah from Student Affairs online. Sarah, is there anything you want to share, or are you just sitting in on the class? Sarah? Okay, there's 2 hands up. Matar and Izzat, who wants to share? Where are you now? And Ahmed?
Okay, if Muhammad Izzat will not speak, I can just say a few comments. Okay.
Okay.
The first comment from my side, that the discussion on the forum for last week, I'm not sure if I'm the only one who did not understand well what it should be, but what I can see that I realize that you need us to go inside this forum and to discuss one topic, and yes. I found that we all were speaking, or many of us actually were speaking on one, or we're discussing one topic, but I found that other colleagues also are talking on another subject. So I couldn't understand, are we going to talk only on one subject or more than one subject? So I thought that it was only one subject, the key challenges and how we can foster in order to go for the success. That's what yes. What I thought that I have to talk. I need to talk here. So I just put my message inside this one, but I found others talking on the other part. So that's I perfect. Just wanted to understand. And that's the perfect. Other one also, I just want to pay attention to that we are talking for 2 hours here. So if we can have like 5 or 7 minutes even break during the 2 sessions, if you can split the 2 hours into 2 sessions okay. with 5-7 minutes even break, it will be great. So we can just do anything and then we continue.
Okay, perfect. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. So Ahmed, on the first one is the intention when I was in the class, we've set the challenges, and then we see we also learning the first week, but then we saw we have uploaded 4, and some people already have started posted. So then we allowed that. So, but in future, there's only going to be one forum discussion and a response to that one. So we also have founded our feet a little, because it's the first time we have done Moodle. So it's perfect as you've done that. Okay. Thank you for your understanding. Okay. But
Hello,
if you're not
Professor,
sure,
can you hear me?
yes, I'll just wait quickly. If you're not sure in future, Ashraf, just send me a message, because there's most probably somebody else that's also wondering, because then I will put a clarification immediately in the group. Okay. Okay. Matar?
Hello, Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, Ahmed?
Yes, finally. I was trying to speak long time, but I'm driving and I have internet connection issues, so I was really struggling. I wanted just to say thank you so much for granting me those 2 days. I have finished my the requirements, the quiz, the participation in the forum, but I was not able to see others' replies, so I can respond to them.
Okay, I will ask Mpilo's online, so I will just ask him to go into yours and see what's the issue and how it can be amended. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
But don't stress about anything. Okay. Thank you for that.
I really was. I am currently struggling. Actually, I just moved to another job, so between handing over the previous duties and start getting the new responsibilities, so it's like hectic, and I couldn't concentrate on any course or any subject. So I am really struggling right now. So thank you so much.
Don't stress. If you need to, and that is for everyone. If you stress about that and you need a day or two, or you need to have a one-on-one with me quickly, then just send me a WhatsApp, okay?
Thank you so much.
The purpose is not for students to stress, and the purpose is not for students to fail. The purpose is for students to learn, and that you guys get your MBA as soon as possible. Okay. So whatever I can support, I will. Any other comments before we go into the sharing? Anyone else who's struggling? Nobody. That is perfect. Okay. So I'm quickly. Oh, Elena, hand is up. Elena, do you want to quickly say?
Yes, hello, Professor. I just wanted to say that I have the same issue as Ahmed. I cannot see absolutely another topics. I can only see the topic of my response and the response of my peers. That's it. I didn't see and didn't have access to other ones.
Okay, so Mpilo, have you taken notes of Ahmed and Ulena just to see why there's an issue there with them and not with the others? And then Ulena, if you still want to respond after we've seen if there's an issue, because the others doesn't seem to have that issue, then we can just either grant a few days extension for you to comment on it, but we will let you and Ahmed know. We just need to see what's the issue.
Professor, I think almost everyone have the same problem, because I also meet the problem. I couldn't answer on the, I couldn't reply on the answers of my colleagues on the other topics. I couldn't see even them.
Okay. Who of you could? Let me ask in the class, who of you could see? Because then we just need to see, are there some who, because some responded and others, that like the three of you couldn't, so that we can just see where is the problem. Is it maybe a profile problem on individuals, or is it general for everybody? Are the others, who of you, because I'm only going to look at everything tomorrow and respond, then who of you could respond? Could anybody respond? Then just put your hand up so that I could see, because I know there's people who posted comments. Okay. Yusuf, you could respond? You unmute?
Yes, just to clarify, Doctor, So in the beginning, I was not able to even submit my response. After like a few days, I was able to, and then I had to contact like Windsor University about the reply. So to respond to someone else. Now everything is good for me as well.
Okay, so so maybe for this week we will. It's actually for everyone. You cannot see other discussions. So, okay, I will need to find out from them why it is like that. So don't stress if you couldn't respond. Then it's not going to affect you. It's just then if there's a technical problem, but I will follow it up with Sarah to see what is the issue. But then it just means this week we will not until the problem is resolved, ask for a response. So until we know it is resolved. Is that okay? Okay. Thank you so much.
Professor, I have a question, please.
Okay, let me just see. Let me just go.
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Nuran?
Yes, I have a question. Because as far as I understand that we have to comment on only one colleague from the peers who answered the discussion. So therefore, this means if my peer commented on same discussion topic as the one I selected, so that will be enough because
that's enough. You only need to do one.
Because I think that will minimize the problem because most of us commented on different topics. So most of us will should have found other peers in the same discussion topic to comment on.
Okay, thank you for that. But we will see how can we, so that we test it first, and because we're also learning. So thank you so much for all the input. Okay. Any other questions or comments, or please, if you struggle, you don't want to do it, say it in this forum, you're more than welcome to send to me with time, because then I can bring it also under Sarah's attention to see where additional support needs to be done. But then I know from this course perspective where I need to check in, let's say Mohan Ahmed, or where I need to support a little more if somebody is going through a challenging time. But I always will also then bring it under Sarah. Sarah Reis is in there, the group. Then you also need to bring it then under Sarah's attention, so that if she needs to then see how can she work across to other professors, that can happen. Okay. Okay. So let's start. So that because we're going to have a break. Okay. Halfway. So let me just quickly take to the Excel spreadsheet. So where's the Excel spreadsheet now? There's the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, there's the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, can you all see the Excel spreadsheets that's in front of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Mpilo, I've put it in the group, but Mpilo is going to upload this on the Moodle during the session as well. So at the bottom, this is the one that I've put in but I've made one or two changes, and I just want to take you through it so that when you go through it, then you know what they are. At the bottom, there are 3 worksheets. The one is brief contents. The other one is grading. The other one is comparison. Okay. So what I have done is just the one I've showed you the last time, last week. What I've updated then is the submission dates. So there you will see in column A is week 1. And then the green means we're done with that group, with that week, except our new student. The yellow line in line 7, which show week 2, shows that this is the week that we are busy now. Then I have put in submission dates for you so that you can plan it in your diary as well on that you have a dashboard. Okay, so that is done till the end. What I've added is I've put it a line exam. I will still need to just finalize what the exam format, what the exact exam times are with Windsor. I'll do it with Sarah. And if there's any, so the others are not going to change, but if there's any change on the exam date, that is where I will come back to you. Sarah, are you online? Okay, so what I've done here is, and that's why the difference between the black and the red is those weeks where there's a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so like in week 5, there are 2 chapters, but it's not difficult chapters. Okay, in week 8 is also 3 chapters, but it's not difficult chapters. I'm going to really make it as easy as possible for you. The weeks that will have a lot of work because we're going to do a lot of calculations that I will design for you is in week 9 and week 10. Those are the financial modules. So those, but you will see there is, I have added the dates there for you that we're ending by the as per this date here, by the 13th of August. This little thingy here says we need to end by the 13th of August. What I need to, you'll see for week 10, I'm just highlighting it here for you so that you have structure. Then week 10 and week 11. I have made the dates for you for submission. Instead of there a week, we have made it 2 weeks so that wherever you're potentially behind on something, that we don't run out of time because we need to finish then everything by the 13th of August. Okay. Let me quickly just go and accept who's coming in now, the class. Ashraf. Okay. So this is the first one, is just a dashboard. So the one that I just need to sort out with Sarah and them is when the online exam is and what the specific format will be, so that I can, as we go on, give you per chapter guidance on, say, okay, this will be important, or this may be a practical, or this may be a case study to guide in those items. Okay. Can you see on the next screen, there's a grading system. On the second worksheet, there's a grading system. I've clicked on the second sheet of the same Excel. Okay, so what I've done here is, and I'm just highlighting it so that you can see it. This is the one that was the one that I've shared last week in the picture format. I've just, this one is below 40%, below 70%, sorry. That one I haven't amended. So below 70%. It is a fail. But those who want to go for specific, this is what your GPAs will work according to. Okay, so we'll just upload this one as the correct one. Then what I've done is I've amended the one according to the also the picture one that I've showed of Windsor University that we've received the points in total. So there is, like, their category is assignments, quizzes, and the final exam. Then if you go to column H, do you see I'm clicking there on column H?
Yes.
Those categories, now this is not fully telling up. So I'll just correct this one. I'll quickly, let me just take that up. But this counts out of, because I've added hidden columns of the last week. So these columns, I'll just put the percentages in. So out of 100%, that equates to 300 points. 100 points for the exam, 100 points for the quizzes, and 100 points for the category of assignments. Okay, so then what I've done is okay, how do we split it now? We know here, number 3, the final exam, that needs to go 100 points. The quizzes, we know it's 100 points because I had to work out the grading system. So how will we split certain things? 100 points for the quizzes. So then what I've done there is I've taken the 100 and I've divided it by the 11 remaining, or the 11 weeks. If that means that in the 12th week is the exam. If that change, I will immediately inform you. But this is the principle of calculation that I've used. Is I've said the 100 divided by the 11 means for 10 weeks. Week 1, last week, your quiz, that means that counts 9 points. For the first 10 weeks, the quizzes that you do, so let's say you get 7 out of 10, that means the 7 out of 10 times the 9 points will be your pro rata calculation for that week. And that's how we will work it every week. And then I've put, because it's a strange number, I've divided then, so the rounding figure is for the last week is then 10 points. So that's why each week's quiz will calculate to this 100 points. Okay. Then the assignment category. I've split up into the forums you have, the assignments that you're going to start doing from week 3, the forums from week 1, and then the requirement of Windsor University that a person at least must attend 50%. Because also if the class is long, from experience, the longer the classes later on in the 12 weeks, and people have issues to attend, it becomes then like a core group that always attend. So I've split in that 100 points into 40 for the assignments, because we're only going to start in week 3 with that. The weekly forums, that means it's 36 points, but it will be 3 per week. And then the attendance every week, that is 24. And in total, which is 2 per class. If there is a crisis week, so for example, Abulela only started this week, so for his 24, we will pro rata amend that so that it doesn't add 2 per class, but it cuts out for the last week, which obviously couldn't be here because he wasn't part of the curriculum. Okay, so this is how the 300 points will be divided. That's column I, and then column J is the more detailed split. Okay. Then the last one. So I'll just change this afterwards to take out the colors. For the majority of the class who had the entrepreneurship the last semester, that is that column there. And this one is this. Can you all see the comparison on the third sheet?
Yes.
It's okay. So this is what I've done is I first started with, that's why you'll see the blue column A is week A, is the weeks. So we're done with week 1 and we're going to do week 2 now. Then I have taken each week up to when we supposed to, let's say, so that if week 12 is for the exam, so that's what we'll just clarify, but this will then end on the date that when they want us to do. So that's the week. Then the next part is the design of how are these chapters divided into parts. There are 5 parts which I took you through the introduction session and the last one. So it's also in the slides for last week, and it's also uploaded on Moodle. So I've matched it or mapped it to that. Then I have taken each of the chapters and up to chapter, this course has 18 chapters in the McGraw book. I've put in column D the, let me just take that one a little bigger. I've put in the titles of the chapters, and then I went through each outcome or what is going to focus on. Okay. Up to chapter 18. And I'll explain to you once I'm done. So you can see that's up to line 171. It took me time, okay? But I wanted all of you to have peace of mind so that also where I need to design, redesign some of the content that I know where are potential overlaps. Then, so the area of grey, if you go to column G, that's now the previous semester course. Don't worry about chapter 1 being grey and chapter 2 being white. I've just made it a contrast color so that you can easily see the differentiators between the chapters. Okay, then what I've done is the same principle, chapter 1 up to chapter 14. Yeah, at chapter 14. I've put next to each one the title of the chapter, and I went to all the outcomes. Okay. Then what I've done is, and this is where the red now comes in, is if there's a red on that one, and I've picked up, there's a potential, even if it's not the same content, because this course, the previous one, when I went through it, it seems very basic on a foundational level. So if I've picked up that there's anything potentially, even if it's not the same content, I have highlighted it in red, or let's say in line 19. Can you see there's glass ceiling, women-led support, family? So of that is, yes, in today's session is a portion of women-led, but it's not the same. Today's session is a portion of the family, but it's not the same. I have highlighted that, each one for you, across both, so that you can see where are there some overlaps. Okay, then what I've done is, so let's say there's a cash flow. Can you see on your previous course, chapter 6, there was cash flow? Then what I've done is say, okay, Krista, if you're going to get to that that chapter in this semester, all the blue ones is now, look at column E. I'm going to start at the top. Look at column E. I've highlighted today there's an overlap of a topic, but not content. Family business, yes, that is an overlap. Okay, women, yes, there is an overlap. So I know that from chapter 3 onwards, any place where there's red, I either need to take out or redesign, or like I've done on the blue one, I just highlight, I know I need to make it on a very higher level. I'm going to give you an example under the finance. Okay, so under the finance is in I'm going to quickly go to the finance chapter. Okay, can you see chapter 12, line 116? There's balance sheet, income statement, financial reports. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so those are then, I know you guys have done some basic thing on that, but now I need to take you to a higher level in terms of analysis. So I know I don't have to, for some of those in the class who have never done it before, so Sarah gave me those names. With them, I will put pre-videos. I will record pre-videos on some of the basic things that's the majority of you have learned in video form in those weeks, so that they're not losing out, because there are some still people who haven't done everything. So I will pre-record certain videos on those things to give them that foundation. But when it comes to the exercises, I'm going to jack it up on a more complex level than what you would have got because you have that foundation. That means is you're going to get, like, I have a master's in finance, so you have the best and risk, so you have a very good mentor. So I'm going to make it very practical, but also a little more in depth, and the analysis, the handouts, not a little more complex, but you have done the basics, so I can't give you the basic. So I'm going to give you the next level of MBA level stuff. Okay, so I'm very excited about this.
Professor,
okay,
sorry for interrupting.
No, just wait. I just need to go back to the screen so that I can just see.
I have a question.
Okay, let me just get back to my screen. Let me just get back to my screen. Okay. Who is speaking now? I'm still learning the voices.
This is Rodas.
Rodas. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, Rodas, speak.
So my question is, I think there are students, for example, me, who took accounting and finance management.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of this MBA program. So even if the others didn't take that course, they will take it in the future. I'm not sure if Nouran was involved in that class. Mansour was definitely in that class. Sarah was in that class, and I think Wellington was in that class. So I don't know. Can you still hear me, Professor? I think I'm having network problems.
Okay, so is the question, because what comes to me, and that's a discussion I need to have with Sarah, because that increases the complexity, because then we have 3 levels of students in the class. The one who has not done the previous entrepreneurship, that means they need to get a certain level of assessment. Then you get the ones who has done the previous semester, and they need to get a certain assessment because their knowledge level is a little now higher than the other one. And then there's a group that has done financial management, which is potentially higher than the 3rd class. I just need to talk to the university, because otherwise it becomes so complex for assessment. But that's something I need to discuss with Sarah, because otherwise we need to design 3 for this, identify who's this group, who's this group, and who's that group, and do different assignments for different people. So that's a discussion that I will need to have with them to see how they want me to do that. Is that okay, Rhoda? Oops, there she fell off. Okay, so she'll come back now. So that's a very, very good question that she has given. So I unfortunately will need to, because I don't know the answer, I need to get the guidance from Windsor on that, to see how do they want me to handle the different groups, and do I need to do different assignments for finance? Okay, what is your opinion on, or your viewpoint on what has been said and what we've summarized? Do you have more peace of mind that, yes, we've looked at the previous courses, we've mapped it, and we know where potential duplication will be, and that we will do our best to redesign from week 3 onwards to make it good for you? Okay, Matar, thank you. Anybody else? This is the time to speak, eh? There were students who wanted to see this, so I need to get some input from you. Can you hear me, or are you guys just quiet today?
Yes, I think it's okay. Clear, yes.
Okay, can you all just give me a hands up so that I can see, are you happy with the benchmarking, that you can see it has been done? Is that, do you want to say something, or are you just happy? Happy, okay.
Just happy.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who has a concern, so that, like Rhodas has mentioned it, so I know now something I haven't known last week, but so that I just know that all of you are potentially happy. Are you all happy, or is there anybody that's that have a concern or a comment? Lizette, you happy? Olina, happy? Okay. Then, okay, thank you. So I'll just ask Mpilo to upload this one because I've made that one change. Okay. Okay, so let's start, and then we can break at 4:05. Okay, so let me share the video. Okay. So this one doesn't want to share, so let me just go in again. Okay. Can you see the slide pack in front of you, the PowerPoint slides?
Yes.
Okay. So, so that you know, the slides when I get it is not colorful, but for me it is very hard to facilitate without color. And also, when we work in one of the sessions where we're going to go on training methods under HR, because what I picked up under HR and legal specific when I did the benchmarking is that in those two chapters there's quite a duplication. So under HR, I'm also going to, because I'm internationally trained as a curriculum designer by Dr. Bernice McCarthy in the US at a company about learning. So in one of the things that is training. So I'm going to share with you, because especially those, whether you're in small business and whether you in corporate as an entrepreneur, you will have people. You will have people that report to you. You will have people that report to you. You will have people that you need to do performance evaluations, which you need to do personal development plans. And in that, you need to understand, I'm not sure if you have ever had intensive training on adult learning, but one of the modern ways of is and I'm going to teach you that because we used that in our previous business school, is how does your the average adult learn, so that when you go into, whether it's performance management or whether you're going into personal development plans, whatever training you're going to do or coaching, is that you understand that each person has a different learning style. Now, and there are different layers of that learning style. So I'm going to, in that specific session on HR, under training, I'm going to bring that info for you as enrichment. I'll also upload some videos, a pre-video for you on that. So my learning style, my primary one is visual. So if I have like a slide that is just black and white, okay, my brain's learning loop is not continuing. So I will put in color. So like the heading here, can you see assignments this week? I've put it in a navy blue. Or the heading questionnaire, I've put it in a green. Can you see that slide? Can you see that slide?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why if you see I've changed it a little for the color, it is for myself as well to facilitate to you, because that's how my brain also learn. So some of you may be visual, some of you may be auditory, some of you may be kinesthetic, but those things I will bring into the HR module for you, because that's part of my speciality and my PhD and training for the last 12 years as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with this, then it's out of the way. You're not going to get a lot of stuff to do this week, okay? What we, Pilo will still upload it tomorrow. We're going to do after the break, as part of today's work, the 5 Ps. And those are, what is your passion as an entrepreneur or intrapreneur? Remember that. Abulela, just for your sake, you weren't here last week, is for those who are entrepreneurs and have their own businesses despite having a job as well. They are both entrepreneurs, that means they're having the small business, but they are also intrapreneurs, which starts with an I-N-T-R-A. That means is they have they have an entrepreneurial orientation as their thinking, even if they are in a corporate. So Abulela, let's say like for you, you are overseeing a team, but you don't, let's say for example, you don't have a small business. That means is you're not an entrepreneur with a small business, but if you that out of the box thinker and you have the entrepreneurial thinking and how that how things should be made different, and in the future world of work to make a success of that, that means you still have the entrepreneurial thinking, but as an entrepreneur, that means it's in a corporate environment. So that if you see, we mention intrapreneur versus entrepreneur. So what we're going to do this week is there are the 5 pieces. What is your passion? What fuels you? What is that motivation? What is your level of or your approach to perseverance? What is your promotion prevention focus? What is your planning style orientation, and what is your professional orientation? So we're going to do 10 quick questions for each one of that. You're going to complete that by next Sunday. Then this week you're going to have, because then I'm going to map that for each one of you, taking your first week's assessment that you've done and this week's 5 Ps that you've done, and to put it together in something for each one. It will take me a little time, but that is going to give you more value. Then the only thing that you're going to have apart from the forum is by the end of the week, there will be an end of module quiz. We'll make it in ample time, and that you must just have the 70% as a pass rate, and we will allow 2 attempts. I think that's how Mpilo has set it up. So that will be uploaded tomorrow. Then the forum is each one of you. So there will not be 4 like last week, we have learned. There will be 1. Each one will give a summary of, let's say, Ulena. So this is what came out of what I've learned about my passion, passion P. This is what I've learned about my perseverance P. This is what I've learned about the promotion prevention P, my planning style P, and the professionalism P. Then with a conclusion. Okay, what is the summary of all 5 together that you have learned about yourself? there will not be a response to that. Because A, we need to sort it out, and B, this is a personal thing, but your classmates can learn more about you, and also because each person has a different writing style about that. Okay, so it's not a lot of work this week. We have made it a minimum 300 words because there are 5 P's plus a conclusion. Otherwise, it will be 200 words will be too short for that. Okay. Any questions on this? Because this is now the assignments out of the way. Then we're going to take a break, and then we'll run through the slides. Any questions or comments?
Yes, just summarize it from my side. There are 5 P's, and each one will have 10 questions, and we write all of the questionnaire. We answer all of them, and then out of the answers we have, we read. Then we start to write in the forum about the outcomes of our B's, and this to answer the question in 300 words minimum, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Perfect. That's all. Because week 1 and 2, it's learning about the entrepreneurial. I saw you guys did some MBTI last semester. Did you do MBTI Myers-Briggs?
Yes.
Okay, so what would be interesting is in one of the things, because I also studied the Myers-Briggs, is at one stage I can map it for you, this to your Myers-Briggs at one of the modules, but this is all for this week. Is the question is, it's 5 times 10, that's going to be quick but honest. Then you do the forum of what you've learned about yourself. On each one, you summarize it like Mitar said, and end of week module, and you are done. Okay, are you happy about that, or do you want more work?
No, very good.
No, enough. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. The reason why I'm not giving you for the first 3 weeks too much is from my own experiences. I know when I studied and when I did my PhD, and still while I'm doing my second doctorate now, the first few weeks between subjects and getting back into rhythm and into balance between work, family, and all the assignment dates, it's really can sometimes feel it's too much. So I want you to find your feet the first 3 weeks, but weeks from week 4 it will pick up, and that finance week is going to be those 2 weeks are quite a hectic model, but I want you to ease in and not run away. Okay, so that you still have a life balance. Happiness. Okay, so what we're going to do now, it is 1 minute after 4. Do you, we have not done the breaks before. Do you want a 5-minute or 10-minute break?
10 minutes, please.
Okay, so it's going to be 8, and I'll tell you why, because it's on my watch is 2 minutes after 4, so that we can start again 10 minutes after 4. Okay, so we'll see you online. Don't leave. Just put your mic and your camera off, because if you leave, you will also go out of the attendance register. And we pull down attendance registers from Teams. And we want to show you that you're the entire class there. Okay. We'll see you in 10 past 4. Okay. It's 11 minutes past 4. Can I continue? Okay. Thank you, Naran. Naran, every time I look at your photo and I see that beanie and that jacket, I'm thinking this must be an extremely cold environment, and it looks so nice. So one day when we have time, you must send me a message and say, where was that picture taken? And yeah, because it's really a beautiful picture.
Thank you. Pleasure to share with you anytime.
Thank you. Where was it taken?
It was in Norway.
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
they have really cool weather, so I had to wear all my clothes ready to feel warm, and it was in Oslo. It's like an army castle or something, so that was the view behind me.
Wow, beautiful. I will DM you. Okay. Okay, so can you see, thank you, Naran. I'm going to run through the slides quickly because some of the things has a little overlap with the previous semester, but there's one specific discussion that I wanted us to have. Can you see this, the screen in front of you, the psychology of entrepreneurs? Okay, thank you, Lizette. So I've just highlighted the one thing that stood out in where they say is aspects of an entrepreneur's behavior, and it's how you look at things. And how you think also about yourselves in the world, and that's referred to as cognition. So it's just a term that you will need to get, if you haven't get acquainted with it, because especially if you have staff under you and you're going into future study further, and whether it's an HR related modules or social identity theory, but you will always hear the term cognition. And then that is then visible in your doing, in your actions. So that is basically, and that determines how you're going to be, in a way, successful or unsuccessful, and how you're going to bounce back if you had learnings, how you're going to bounce back. I have highlighted for you on the next slide the basics of entrepreneurial behavior. This you should have covered in the previous semester, those who have done it. So I'm going to go through the 4 yellow areas. Now, I've shared with you the previous 2 sessions that I'm in my 12th year as an entrepreneur. But it took me the majority of the first 7 years, I didn't have an entrepreneurial mindset. I still had like an employee mindset too, and I was so risk averse. And then suddenly, as I went through my own personal growth, something kicked in and I became just suddenly into entrepreneurial mindset. Some of you may be born with an entrepreneurial mindset, but others, it takes time. If you don't have that natural entrepreneurial mindset, that you need to grow into it and acquire through your personal development and through experience. Sometimes it's like you either sink or swim, and then slowly you said, hey, I'm not going to do that again. The second thing is that, and Lazat also, and why I always refer to Lazat is also like she's doing a lot of development, but in a different country with entrepreneurs, like we're also doing here in Africa, is if you as an entrepreneur are not proactive, this week you can be in business, next week you can be out of business. I'll give one example. Is I have a client, and it's a lesson that I've learned now. I have a client in the pharmaceutical industry, and they've lost quite a big government contract in vaccine manufacturing. And nobody in the organization, they have last year appointed another 150 people. They have bought land to build an additional factory. So they have planned this year for exponential growth in the income. Suddenly, and nobody can explain it, government gave that contract, which was theirs for years, to a different company, which is not even in South Africa. And suddenly now they have lost 50% of their income stream, and they will need to potentially, starts in June, retrench 50% of their staff. So how does that impact entrepreneurs around that organization? If an entrepreneur have put their eggs in one basket, that means they have not been proactive in growing their market and de-risk their business. It puts them in a tough spot that it actually can close them down. So that's why in entrepreneurship, being proactive in your business, in your strategies, in your clients, in your finance, and all the things we're going to do in this course. Proactive, I've learned, is non-negotiable. Flexibility is non-negotiable. Innovativeness is a non-negotiable. And risk-taking or having a risk appetite becomes then in many cases non-negotiable. So I just want to quickly go to those of you who are entrepreneurs, and Lizette, you working with entrepreneurs. What have you learned from your own business? And Lizette, for you from working with entrepreneurs in terms of the importance of these four basic behaviors? What have you seen? And I want to hear from those also who have their own businesses. Who's going to go first? Come.
Okay, I can start actually.
Thank you.
So in my practice, actually, it's kind of maybe my experience, but within 2 hours of communication with people, I can understand, do they a good entrepreneur or they need to get some additional knowledge to be an entrepreneur, because first of all, it's, let's say, risk-taking. I think it's one of the best evaluation of the person for understanding their mindset. So are they ready to take risk and take responsibilities, of course, or they're trying to avoid all risks and try to put all responsibilities for some external circumstances. So it's a very big difference between people who are ready to take risk and responsibility and those who are trying to avoid this. And of course, proactivity and innovativeness, it's also the some factors which can show the people, the individual readiness to start their own business. Because when you are employee, it's you don't need to be more proactive. You can do only things that your employer say to you to do. So when you have your own business, it all depends on you. So how much proactive you will, how much clients, for instance, you can find, then so much perspective and profitable you will be. And this is a big proactivity, I think, includes many features like communicability of the person, some kind of how people communicate with others, how people are good in negotiation and so on. And innovativeness, it's I like people who is doing new things, not only taking something and selling something, but producing their own, selling their own ideas. And it's something new and always cost more than just taking things and selling somewhere else. So actually, all the things are shown like how much individuals are ready to be real entrepreneur. So it's my point of view.
Thank you so much. Who else want to share or comment? You mustn't be so quiet with me. I look every week so forward to chat to you guys, eh? Ulina?
Yes, I'm very sorry if I have background noise. If it's very loud, I can type. Just say me if you hear that.
I don't hear anything now.
Okay, great.
Apart from your voice, yeah.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to comment. I listened carefully what Lazard said, and about risk taken. For me, I'm not yet an entrepreneur. I'm just discovering this, and I'm making first steps in it. So I'm working as an individual consultant within the consultancy company. However, I'm thinking about my own project, and I believe that I have still have issue with risk taking. And what Lazar just said is very valuable one, because I now agree with that still I'm not an interpreter because I have this issue, and I will consider about that more precisely. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's not that you're not into entrepreneur. And if I remember correctly, Ulina, you're in data analysis, business analysis.
Yes, I'm in a consultancy agency and have different roles. Mostly, yes, I arrange analysis and also mentorship and project management. So within one company, I have different roles, and I like independent consultant where I receive different opportunities to work within the project.
Okay, so what I want you to keep in mind is that you are not there with risk taking, because I was in exactly the same situation when I was in corporate as well, because of the type of work you do. Project management is left brain, very detailed orientation to make sure that you don't miss a step to reach your milestones and to complete the project and successful. The same with data analysis, business analysis. It's very analytical part of the mind that is used. I just want predominantly, primarily, where risk taking and innovativeness is coming more from the right side of the mind. So the more you only use the left side, the less the right side are being used for that. So it's not to say that you're not risk taking. It's just your nature of your work doesn't require it, and the nature of your work requires a lot of left brain at that stage. The future world of work, and in one of the future sessions, I can share that with you when we have more time. I trained under Dana Zohar. She is a quantum physicist, but I went to Oxford and I trained as a quantum leadership master trainer. So in one of the sessions, I will share with you as well that whether it's our children, ourselves, entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, for the future, especially with AI, that is going to become more predominant, and that will also require people to do less left brain type of stuff. The future world of work is going to require that if we want to stay relevant, that we need to become, they call it whole brained. That's why when I started developing my right brain, it was very hard for me. My innovativeness, the entrepreneurial mindset, the risk-taking part wasn't fully developed. So because I was so analytical, financial, a business turnaround strategist, so I had to work over the last 12 years to develop my right brain. So when we do training, whether it's emotional intelligence, whether it's systems thinking or design thinking, we bring in practicals that activate, that goes between the left brain and the right brain. So don't think just because your score may come back innovativeness lower, or risk-taking orientation lower, you're not entrepreneurial. No, just see it for what it is. In this moment and in this phase of your life, this is where you are. But then you look at it as a mirror to say, okay, that one is a little lower. It's not, you are not an entrepreneurial thinking. You are not this. It just means that it gives you insight that, this one I need to develop a little more. Okay, Yusuf?
Yes, Professor. I just have like some comments here. So first of all, from my understanding that every like few points here are correlated. So if we are talking about motivation and risk taking, they are correlated. So the higher motivated you are, the higher risk taking you will do. And also from my understanding that risk taking is opportunities. So the higher risk you take, like more opportunities you will gain. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, and also proactivity and innovativeness. So the more proactive you are, you will need to be like up to date with the market. The more innovative you will be to do more things to attract your customers. So this is my understanding of those like basic entrepreneurial behavior. Yeah. So this is what I understand from this slide. Thank you so much.
So Yusuf, theoretically, yes. Okay. Theoretically, what you've said is 100% spot on. But let's say the one that you said, the higher motivation, the higher your appetite for risk taking, theoretically, it is how it should be. But if you take the human in the human psyche into account, one person may be extremely motivated, and they want to be and they want to take that risk, but they might be in a situation where they are when they have to take a decision is driven by fear, and that fear is bigger than their motivation to actually take that risk. So therefore I said theoretically, yes. But from individual to individual, and this is also linked to how they call it worldview in psychology, or it's also linked to social identity theory, is to say what have made Yusuf different from Ulena. Your background, how you grew up, where you are up to Yusuf, where you're now, is you may be very motivated and you want to take that risk, but you may be in a situation where your fear might be higher. So this is where psychology comes in. So in theory, yes, but psychologically, it will differ from person to person. Does that help?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. It's these things, all of you on corporates, this is where you will know when you work with people. The theory doesn't always translate to the practical in a person, because then it's where you need to get into, so why is the motivation not coming into action? And why is fear is a very, very big motivator in a lot of people. And then how do you get to the root of the fear so that a person can actually live the potential of their motivation and put that into action? Okay. Okay. So if we go to, because I want to get to the five P's. So these are the 5 questionnaires that you're going to do for you. And please, if your one is lower than the other one, it is not to say you're entrepreneurial or not entrepreneurial. It is really to say, where are you in this space of your life? And also then to say, if you are curious, I think all of you in this class seems very curious, is to say, but why is this one lower? Do I need to, will this impact where I want to go in the future? Do I need to develop, is this, let's say, my left brain, is this my right brain, or where is this coming from? And then be curious, because I'm more than willing to have those conversations also with you, to say, okay, how can you then in your personal development, your personal growth, to say, okay, should I develop my left brain a little more to get more equal with my right brain, or do I need to, like in my case, I had to develop my right brain very much because my left brain is so analytical. It was like my right brain was totally hidden, that part, but a lot of entrepreneurial things comes from your right brain. But then it's to say, when you take that risk in that moment, have you take a balanced decision between the analytical and the innovative and the proactive and the risk-taking part that's coming from the right brain? Okay, so that's very important. So on this one is passion. This is what is, I will go and read through the comment now. What is it that you're passionate about? What is that most motivation that Yusuf is speaking about, to say, what is that passion that motivates me so much that I am willing to take certain risks? Perseverance. When we do assessments with entrepreneurs, we call it learning agility. So there is an International Learning Agility Index, an assessment that can be done as well. And that, if we don't have entrepreneurs that's high in that, we don't normally take them on we call it enterprise or supply development program, because the chances that they will fall off the program and not complete it is too high. So also if you get staff in, you can have a staff member that is very good on certain things, but they don't have the learning agility. That means is if they are going through difficult times, they struggle to bounce back. If the company goes through a difficult time, they are the ones that might cause sabotage in the team, because, and it's very difficult. It's a longer coaching route. It's a longer development route. Whether it's an individual in a corporate that we coach and develop, or entrepreneur, they say, get a horse to drink the water and actually drink it. Okay, we've seen it with entrepreneurs. Some of them, we give certifications, we let them go and train and stuff, but they never to bring income in, but they never use it, because they don't have, they have the passion, but their passion and learning agility does not match. That's very important. Then promotion, prevention focus, that is your behavior related to pursuing the gains, to go forward for those profits, and to prevent the losses. And I will be I'm also going to do these questionnaires, by the way. I am very curious to see what some of mine also, and I don't mind to share it with you. Then under planning style is, this is to say, so if you go from where you start to where you actually deliver your product or service, whether it's internal in an organization or as a small business. Okay. How comprehensive are you? Very detailed orientated? Are you future looking? Are you habit based? And this is also where your left and right brain will come in. And your formed social identity, that's what they call it for each individual. Your formed social identity will come in terms of how careful or not careful are you going to answer certain questions? I'm really excited to look at your questionnaires. Then professionalization. This is what is the extent to what the entrepreneur will absolutely go to market professionalization. Lizette, what we are doing now is we have taken 25 women entrepreneurs in to develop. And the majority of them have Gmails, Yahoos, Hotmails, those type of things. So we're going through a professionalization focus to say, what do you not have that is professional? Do you have branding? Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have that? Is your compliance to law in order? Is this in order? So it's then to say what standard of, because some clients, if you go to them and you leave the door, they will Google. If they see a Hotmail, their company's firewall will block it. Okay, then the entrepreneurs sit and wait. But they don't realize, but their professionalization is not on the level that the client actually will use them on a level that continuously. They might use them never, or they might use them once or twice. Okay, so this is when you answer it, Olena, don't answer it from the perspective that you're not an entrepreneur. Those like Lizette who has worked with entrepreneurs, she will be on a radar, and I will look from the perspective as being an entrepreneur of her own business, but working with entrepreneurs. Some of you have made notes with that you are entrepreneurs, but you're also working. I'm going to look at, so what came out there, because both will influence your answers. Some of you are just in corporate. Think it as your role in the organization, but from an entrepreneurial point of view, is to see, are you using the entrepreneurial thinking that you have to the maximum in your job role? Or does your job role put you in a box where it means it suppresses certain gifts or certain things that you have? Or no, my organization, as let's say, for example, I want to use Siemens. Siemens naturally, pharmaceutical, will think entrepreneurial. Therefore, they might, all their staff in their development programs might have a natural entrepreneurial, innovative, not necessarily risk-taking, because this is not an exam that say you must have 80% on all 5. This is contextual to where you are now, not a label. Okay. Any questions on this or comments? Nobody?
No, thank you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Thank you, Naran.
Yeah,
okay.
No, okay, my name is Valentin on the line. Can you hear me? All right, my question is, when you talk about the professional, I want to ask, can an entrepreneur, a startup entrepreneur, can he be referred to as a professional? Because most of the entrepreneurs, they are just school leavers, and they just need to start up a business, and they've not gotten enough professional experience or expertise in terms of their job. So they just want to start, and they just start up and then growing. So how can the role of professionalism be attributed to a startup?
Okay, so Wellington, I struggle to hear you, so I'm going to just put it in a context. So when you answer the questions, if you are an entrepreneur, you answer it as an entrepreneur. Okay, and you must remember, if you're not an entrepreneur but an entrepreneur, you answer it as that. If you have no clue, you answer it as honest as you can, because this is not about right or wrong. Okay, if you identify, let's say when you answer as an entrepreneur, but your mindset is set on professionalism, but you don't necessarily have the monetary means to achieve that professionalism, then you answer it from the perspective, what is your mindset want to have, and not necessarily, this is about behaviors and mindset, and not necessarily what you have achieved at this stage. Because then afterwards, you can always go and sit, so yes, this has created an awareness for me that I am focused professional, but for the informal business, but I don't have that level of professionalism. Then it's a coaching conversation or a mentoring conversation to identify then, to say, in your specific business, what professionalization, and that's the work Lizette also does with her entrepreneur, so you can connect with her as well. What professionalization needs to happen in your business? Then identify what can you, will it cost something or won't it cost something? Then start with what are the absolute things that you must have as an entrepreneur to become professional. And then it's you putting a little project plan in place to say, okay, I need to get communication skills. I need to get pitching skills. I need to get A, B, and C. Then what can I afford and what can't I afford? A lot of the things that we can't afford, one can go and find somewhere pro bono or teach certain things. There's always a way. Okay, and that is the wealth that you also have in this group, and that's what also you need to connect with Lizette on that as well, because I've heard you said like an informal entrepreneur. So it's about your mindset, but then you must go and identify what is the discrepancy, what is the gap between your mindset and the actual part in your business, so that you can bring that together. Does that help? Wellington? Lizette, I'm sending coaching clients to you, eh? I hope you are hearing who to connect with. Okay, so what else?
No problem. No problem, yes.
Thank you. So I want to take you through just quickly this slide, and this is part of the 5 Ps. So the prevention, promotion, prevention, focus. There are a few type of focuses. So this will also be interesting for you to see where will you fall in. And remember, this is not about right or wrong. It's not about the label. It's just to get insights. Very, very important. Is some people are very detail orientated. They are the comprehensive planners. They take a look for the long view to say what do this business and I want to achieve, my team want to achieve over the long view. This is all applicable to corporate as well. Okay. What some people are critical point planners. Okay. It's first I plan first. I will not act before I haven't planned properly and has done the proper risk mitigation mitigants. Then there's some people's opportunistic planners. I see some entrepreneurs as a combination of this. I think all of us have something anyway, but we always will have a primary and a secondary one. I've seen one entrepreneur specifically took these business cards to make it electronic, but in the way he does it, there's no comprehensive planning, there's no critical planning. He has a vision and is going to achieve it, but there's no planning in that. So in opportunistic planners, you can have a combination between those who have comprehensive there as well, but you will have those that just plan, do, but there's no proper comprehensive planning there as well. Then you get those that were reactive planners. I think some of the years when I started, because I knew nothing about entrepreneurship, it's just, and I trusted everybody and I wanted to do good. And in the process, I lost financially twice everything. But I think I was a reactive planner because it's like you wait in corporate. Somebody give you, this is your year's KPIs, this is what's going to happen. And I never grew up in an environment. My parents were farmers, so they were a different type of entrepreneurial. So suddenly I was an entrepreneur and I had no training, no background. And I think one is scared. So that's where also reactive planners really, really need a mindset change and a lot of guidance. Then habit-based planners is they don't really plan. They just do it as a routine. For example, I see some women who, out of necessity, as housewives, they started cooking. So they've never planned that they're going to put a business together. But now suddenly, okay, somebody wants to start buying from them. Okay, and then they give it, sell it. They build their market out, but there's no proper planning in that as well. But they're doing it from passion, but also from habit. Okay. So any comments on this before we go to the last one? Okay, then I'll go on. The last one, I want to take a combination of three things. Because this is one of the things that in the previous entrepreneurship has been done. To what extent, I don't know. But there are two slides here that I thought, yeah, is this still existing in this day and age? But then I realized also it is very contextual to cultures and in environments. So the one slide is linked to women and minorities, and the other slide is linked to veterans. Okay, veterans. Now, how we know veterans, and I just want to distinguish between the two, is veterans might be the older entrepreneurs that worked in corporate, but they were retrenched. That's the concept of this veterans here. And then they started business, but they've never got any exposure to entrepreneurial development versus a military veteran. So that's not what we're talking about. The veteran that we're talking about here, sorry, just my slide moved, is one where we're getting older and some corporates giving retrenchment packages or retirement packages and said, okay, the older people go first, but there's a lot of experience, and then they use their pensions or their packages to start a business. So that's the one concept where what they've shared here as well, and that's what I also experience, is a lot of them struggle to say, so what now? The second challenge is they don't know how to separate their retirement. They need to pay for a long time versus their personal life versus their business. For example, is my mom and dad is visiting here, and my dad is 85 and my mom is turning next week 82. And my dad shared today something, and he said, you know, it is hard for them at this stage to sometimes get through with their money because they never expected to grow so old. So that's what we find with veteran entrepreneurs, that some of them start a business, but they lose everything and they do not plan because nobody of us know how old we're going to get. Okay, I'm going to take it to the other slide because I want to open it for a quick discussion on veteran entrepreneurship and women and minorities. So when I read here, women, number one, women choose service industries with lower sales levels, while men choose construction and financial industry with higher sales. The second statement that was made was men are motivated by money and women by flexibility. And three, women want less risk, which also their companies have lower returns. So I want to put it out just for a 5-minute discussion because we are from different backgrounds, from different countries, from different cultures. And in some cultures, this may still be the case. And in other cultures and countries, it may totally the opposite. So I would love just to have a conversation around this to say, what are your views and your experiences in terms of this specifically women, minorities, veteran entrepreneurs in this day and age? What do you see in your country or your culture? What is still the case? Can I open it to first Lizette? Very shortly, in general, from the entrepreneurs that you are developing, what do you experience in terms of women, minorities, and veteran entrepreneurs in terms of their mindset? It's about their mindset. It's not about right or wrong. It's about their mindset. Is that?
Actually, in my country, women are more proactive. You know, it's, I don't know exactly in numbers, but the, I think the most of entrepreneurs are women. So they are taking different positions in different type of businesses. So they can manage even big factories, you know, not only small businesses, but they can start and run medium size or big size businesses also. So they are very nice and they are very motivated. And in comparison with men, they are more, maybe even more motivated to do this job, because it's not a secret that in the world too much women who raise children by themselves, and they're thinking about their future. That's why they're working more hard than, for instance, men who, in my country, in my culture, it's like if the parents divorce, then almost everything on the woman next, and she should think about the future of her children. Okay. That's why they're trying to do their best, and they start their own business. If they have a position, for instance, in the like employee, they get a lower salary, but then they start their own business in order to increase the money they income. Yes. So actually, beautiful. It's like a statistic.
Thank you for that. Nuran, your hand was up.
Yes, I would like to share my opinion regarding 2 points that actually they that clarified that most of the entrepreneurs are women. And I think this is related to 2 points, which are the nature of the small businesses itself, and being a risk taker. So for the nature of the business, most of the small businesses are related to light jobs that actually women are more capable to do more than men. Like, for example, doing some arts and crafts, drawing, cooking, like making a homemade food. So most of the jobs are related to women more. But whenever you find a man, so it will be more industrial or related to his career. So it will need lots of money and lots of effort. So men are fewer because they think to businesses related to their careers.
Okay.
And
is that in your country?
Yes.
Okay. Just quickly for everybody, which country are you in?
Egypt.
Egypt. Okay. Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much, because this way and remember, even if we say it's an opinion, it's a personal opinion, this is not factual. And as we go over the few weeks, I will share a little bit with you how it's in South Africa, and if I learn how it's in Egypt, because Muhammad, any one of the Muhammads may differ from Nuran, and this is the beauty. And I'll also, in one of the sessions, I'll put something online for you. What's the difference between debate and dialogue? And this is not a debate. This is a sharing of personal views. And this is also where the beauty of learning comes in, and how we get to know each other. Okay. Who wants to let us get a man also to share? We have two girls that shared, and let's get two gents maybe also to share. My Muhammads mustn't be quiet now, eh? Who's going to share? So that we can learn how is it in your country as well, or who wants to share? Olena?
Yes, I want to share also my experience of my country. Actually, it's very similar that Lazat shared. We have very ambitious women. We have as well as a lot of opportunities for women. Mostly I can observe that in small businesses like clothes and design, art professions, mostly I can see women, as well as even now I'm remembering my top managers or the owners of the business, they were mostly women. So I would say that because women indeed have now opportunities more to develop themselves, to gain education, to be more independent and not rely, so they have more motivation that, and this why we can observe this fact.
Thank you so much for that, Olena. Matar?
Yes, I would share. Thank you. I would share that it depends actually on the culture of each society as well. Because in Oriental societies, I would say in Egypt is different, is it having many, it has many sorry, cultures. So in the open mind, I would say women can start its own business, and maybe men will work with women and will get usefulness of being working with women, and they like working with them. But in other cultures, it will not be the favorable job for them to work under a job that is owned by a woman. Okay, so it depends here on the culture. Maybe in Europe or maybe in other countries, it is acceptable, but in our society, it's not too much even. I would say if our highest manager is a woman. Okay, although I know that right now in South Africa, it is one of the important, I would say, rules that a woman with a type of condition of some characters, it has to be on the top management even of some firms and companies. Because I spoke with my colleagues in South Africa about this one. But in Egypt, it is not the same. It might be, yes, accepted in some areas, but not every areas.
Beautiful. Why I wanted to listen to you all as well is what Matar has put very in a beautiful way is one of the previous slides. As I think Yusuf made the comment. Yusuf, you must just correct me if I'm wrong, about the higher your motivation, the higher your risk taking. Was it you, Yusuf?
Yes, ma'am.
So the same with it. My answer to him was theoretically yes, but bringing in the human psyche and the contextual part, then it's not necessarily the case. The same, and that's why Matar's so beautiful what he said. It's the same. So in theory, you will read stuff. Yusuf, I'll come back to you now. In theory, we will say yes, entrepreneurship, women this, minorities this, age veterans or veteran entrepreneurs this, but everything is contextual to culture, to what religion is saying about your society, about your community. And remember, all of that can be different and must be interwoven and work together. But then it's also the difference between, let's say, in one society or in one culture, a woman, it's okay for a woman to do that. And let's say you have two women in the same culture that said it's okay, but the one is fear-driven and the other one is not fear-driven anymore. So all of the things is theoretically, yes. But in life, that's why if my children ask me a question, I ask them immediately and said, you are giving me a blanket question. What is the contextual application, or what is the context that you're asking me this question in? So it's said, Mommy, is our society free? Okay, we can theorize about that, but my lovey, what is the context of your question? Oh, Mommy, this and this and that. Then my answer will be different from if you're giving me 6 or 7 other contexts. So everything in life and in entrepreneurship, small business, becomes contextual. Okay, very important. Yusuf? And then we're going to close out. Yes, Yusuf?
Yeah. I just have like a very small disagreement here with Matar about like the society in Egypt and backgrounds and how like men in Egypt deal with the women in terms of leadership or businesses. So first of all, I just need to clarify something about the background itself, because in Egypt or in some of like Eastern societies, the sole responsibility of taking care of the family is it depends on men. Okay, that's why it's not very common. It was not like in the old ages, like 30, 40 years ago, it was not common that the woman will be working to take care of her family, unless a situation is happening. So let's say she lost her partner, like her husband, and she has to work to take care of her children. This is one situation. The other situation, let's say the man himself is not able to fulfill his responsibilities, or they got divorced or something. Okay, so this is the background. Basically, the men are responsible for their families. They have to take care of them, put like food on the table. In some exceptions, women will go outside and work to support their like partners, or to take care of their children in case of any other situations happening. This was in the past, like 30, 40 years ago. but in the last few years or decades, now women are in the market because it's not easy for one person to be working and supporting the family. Okay. The other point, which I disagree with Matar about having women in the leadership positions. So I remember like 1999 when I started my first position in Johnson & Johnson back in Egypt. My supervisor was a woman, and I don't think, I really recall that I had any problem with having my manager or my supervisor as a woman. So we cannot apply this to like all Egyptian societies. Maybe he has some like he experienced something, I don't know, but this is not a common thing in Egypt. There is no problem at all having a woman as a manager in a managerial position or as a business owner. That's what I wanted to give feedback.
Thank you so much. Because from listening to you, Nuran and Matar, we got 3 enriched versions of how it is in Egypt. And that is how it's in entrepreneurship. Because it's about how each business owner is experiencing certain things in their contextual society. So, and I love the word, I want to reframe the word disagree in terms of not fully agreeing. So that's just a coaching conversation. So I have learned so much from listening to 3 people from Egypt, from Yusuf, Nuran, and Matar. And in future conversations, we're going to go deeper in it. And it's not about right or wrong. It's about the contextual experience of that specific person, whether it's Yusuf or Nuran or Matar. Through what are the lenses they experience certain things in their world. And that's what you're going to find in your teams, whether you're in a corporate, whether you're in a university, or whether you're an entrepreneur. We all experience life differently and see things through different lenses. So
but I have a comment.
I always teach, I'm coming now to you, Matar. I'll always teach my children to say, and executives, to say, perception is stronger than fact. When we do leadership and coaching work, it's to say not what the fact is, but what is the perception. And once you can get the common ground on perception, then you can start dealing with the true facts. So we are learning. I don't want to open a debate or a dialogue here, Matar, because we need to close off, but it's very interesting. Quickly, Matar, and then we need to close off.
Just I wanted to confirm what Muhammad said. Muhammad Yusuf said as well, but maybe I don't know, maybe he did not listen to this one, or maybe he missed it, because I said that Egypt has so many societies and cultures, and the open mind people, they accept for sure having a leadership with women. And we have the head of HR in Egypt, for example. She is a lady, she is doing a great job, and we all accept it. But there are some cultures in Egypt that they will not accept having a woman as the head of the job. These are in some places in Egypt, and this is normal everywhere. You will find it everywhere. Yes, sure. But for sure here in Egypt, in the big country, big cities and something like that, the woman is very well welcomed for the leadership positions, and she's doing a great job. So I just wanted to say that it depends on the culture itself, how they will accept it or not. That's it. But not Egypt, for sure. Yes.
Thank you so much. This was really, really, I hope everybody in the class are learning about each other just as much as I'm learning about you. Why I have opened this up is that you specifically, when you do those questionnaires, I do not want you to put a label to any of those 5. You look at this like to say, okay, so what is this telling me in this moment? No, Ulena, you are not entrepreneurial because you're not risk taking. It's you look at it like a mirror to say, what is this telling me in this contextual moment of my career, my job, or my career and an entrepreneur? Okay. Do not take a label on you. Labels limit ones. And it's only as much value as you've answered in that moment or to the job or the entrepreneur business that you have now. Okay, so then you step back and say, okay, so how can I, or do I even want to develop the other part that came out a lower of that? Also, we're only giving you 10 questions, okay? When you're going formal assessments, you might have 60 to 100 questions on each, but we're not going to take you down and bog you down with that type of administration. So the one thing is, see it contextual, see it for what it is, learn from it, and do not label yourself. Okay. If there's any support you need in the week, send me a WhatsApp. Then I'm quite quick on WhatsApps. Okay. Have a blessed week. I'm going to stay online quickly with Abulela just to sort out his last week. Okay. May God bless you all, and may you go and bless someone else.
Thank you, Professor,
Thank you.
for
Goodbye.
very valuable. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes,
This is
let me
Rodas.
just, Rodas.
Yes, yes.
I,
I've been having connection problems. So my issue is in our country, as I've mentioned on WhatsApp, the internet is very low. We only have one internet provider, one company that provides telecommunication stuff, including the internet and phone calls, and they restrict it sometimes. So what we do is turn on our VPN so that we can get through that barrier that they're putting. I don't know why they're doing that, but I think it's due to some conflicts which occurs on and off. So I usually try my best to join. And I also listen to the classes after the session, the live sessions. So I just wanted to let you know I'm always on and off in class. So I've been struggling today, if you noticed.
Don't stress. If you, let's say I know you have an issue, if I just get an email or WhatsApp to say, Professor, I couldn't stay the entire time, but I watched the recording, then I'll still mark you as fully present in the class. Okay. So
okay.
I don't want you to stress about anything. The other question that you also asked about the financial, it's just another layer of it. So I will discuss it with Sarah because it's just it becomes a little complex if one needs to, let's say with finance, start giving assignments. It never happens in the university where you start doing giving individual assignments for those who struggle or who started versus that one do this course and that one do that course. So you never have that scenario. Normally those who do well, those who it's new to, one do it faster if you've done financial management, and a person just need to do it a little longer. But I am accommodating. It's just I don't want to open so much complexity, so I need to discuss it with Sarah.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
So if you have, so if the university said, no, Krista, just do the same assignment for everybody, then it's a question, if you have done financial management before, that just means you're going to go quickly through your assignment, do it quickly, and you versus another student who will need to put in a little more time because they don't have the same level of financial knowledge than you and a few others have.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Okay.
Thank you.
But if you need to contact me at any stage, send a WhatsApp. Or if you struggle with anything, Sarah, because anyone who contacts me, I give the messages to Sarah through anyway, so that she knows also where extra support needs to give across other courses as well.
Okay. Okay, Professor.
Thank you, Rhoda. Thank you for your perseverance, eh?
Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
You.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you, you too. Okay, anyone else who wants to ask before I start just working with Abulela, because the session actually has ended. But if there's any other question quickly, then you must quickly ask. Otherwise, I'm going to start working with Abulela directly. Is there any hand that want to ask anything or comment? Not. Okay. So, Abulela, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, have you gone onto Moodle? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Mpilo to open so that you first do week 1. Okay, so that you do this week. If you can work on week 2, that will be good. But we will move then week 2 for you to so that you can have an extra week with that. But that will mean that your week 2 and 3 will fall together.
Okay.
To help you to catch up. Will that help you?
Yes, sure. I just need to study the material and read and see the videos. And I have this whole week to do it. So it's okay for me.
So on the Moodle, week 1 is fully uploaded. So if you want to have, let's say, a 15 or 30-minute, even one-on-one, and set, or 10-minute or 15 minutes, and set, Prof, I just want to make sure, go through the assignments quickly. I'm more than willing to do that for you for week 1. We just need to diarize it in advance.
That will be great. That will be great.
Okay.
I'll just study, and if I need any question, I'll text you, Professor.
Okay, so then, so I know the other day I had one with Matar. You in Egypt, eh?
No, I am in Saudi Arabia now. I am
Are you
Egyptian,
in
but
Saudi
I work
Arabia?
in Saudi Arabia. Yes.
Okay, so then you just need to tell me so that we work out the time difference. So that if you say, Prof, Tuesday or Wednesday, can I have a 30-minute, or then we just set it up in advance in on Teams.
Okay. It's now it's 6:20 p.m.
Oh, so we're 1 hour difference. It's it's 5:20 p.m. here with us. So
Yes,
you 1 hour ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so just let me know, go through that, and even if you want to send a voice note on the WhatsApp, then I can send, we don't have to wait for a meeting, then I can send a voice note back as well. Anything you're not sure of.
Okay, I'll just read the materials and revert back to you. And thank you very much for your support.
Oh, perfect. I'm here to support.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Good luck and welcome to our class, eh? Thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. I just want to quickly check Nuran. Ashraf. Oh, bye-bye. I just want to quickly check with the others who's still online. Are you guys waiting for me, or can we end the meeting?
You can end, Professor. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you, Nuran. Thank you for your beautiful contribution today, eh?
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.